So welcome everyone to this global webinar about in Asia, about the ingredient of the future. We have people from Thailand, people from Indonesia, Japan, Korea, Philippines, all around Asia, and Malaysia. All of them are here, and I am really happy to have you all. Thank you very much for attending to this webinar, and welcome to this. This webinar is organized by Cobiosa. For those who don't know me, some of you might, because may have done some webinars before. But well, I'm Maria Tibo, a sales manager from Cobiosa, and also in the marketing area. I've been in the company already for 6 years, and 4 of these 6 years, I have been managing the Asian market. So I've worked all around these countries, and I am really up to date to the latest cosmetic trends. So anyone that doesn't know Cobiosa, I would like to tell you just a little introduction about it. Cobiosa is a family business that has already more than 50 years of experience. This is amazing. We are already in the market for 5 decades, and we are specialized in manufacturing and developing effective active ingredients for skin, for hair. You can also use for makeup, and even for pet care, because you know that nowadays active ingredients are included in many different areas of the cosmetic industry. Our vision is to offer the best active ingredients, and we are constantly analyzing, also studying all the active ingredients that are already up to date and to the latest trends. Cobiosa's reputation is mainly based thanks to this innovative approach that we have of our active ingredients, but not only that. Also, we are have a really close relationship with all our clients and distributors, and we are proud to say that we are in the market for so long in more than 70 countries. Today, we have here great relations for many, many years. We have distributors for even 20 years. We have NCS from Thailand. We have Petroquimindo from Indonesia, Metrochem from Malaysia, Active House. So we can say Yamakawa. I could say all of us, all of our partners, but I wouldn't stop. So just to say that we are really close with, and we have a very long-term relationship. Of course, we are offering always the highest quality. All of active ingredients have in vitro and in vivo tests, and we assure the safety of our products. We already have many certifications proving that we offer this kind of quality ingredients, and we also can see that we have 100% natural ingredients, halal certifications, EcoCert, China compliant. So thanks to all this research, we are able to sell in all the countries. Most of you may know Cobiosa because we have really good quality ceramides, and also due to our upcycling marine, collagen, elastin. And some of you also might hear about the Inca heritage that we have. Many, many ingredients are coming from Peru, which have, Peru is a great country with many different climates, and it's bringing us many, many great ingredients with high properties. But we are always constantly including ingredients. Our portfolio is now around 80 ingredients, and we are including every year a new one. So the latest ingredients that we have include are related, we call it high-tech category. This is something that in the past years, we have seen that it's gaining huge importance because we are experiencing some problems with some ingredients, and this is why in the markets, and this is why all the manufacturers, we are searching for natural alternatives and for high-tech alternatives, because the consumer nowadays demands all these scientific background when we offer the active ingredient. Some of the most important numbers that we have seen now in the latest trends is that sustainability is no longer a trend, is no longer an option. Nowadays, we have seen many countries where sustainability is expected. We are seeing more and more 100% natural ingredients. We are seeing more and more vegan, especially, for example, in the Korean market, which is a very important market which leads the trends. We've seen that nowadays vegan is essential. And this is some facts that I'm not the one that I'm saying, but the consumers. We see that if we continue at this rate of consumption, we will see that in 250, which is not very far, we will need 3 planets to support our way of life. This is something huge. How can we need 3 planets for all the population and all what we need? So this is a really interesting fact. And not only that, but we've seen that the consumers are going more and more about this essential topic, because now between 67 and 78% of consumers are already expecting active ingredients that are sustainable, natural, and eco-conscious. We see that in the past 2 years, there are this importance of sustainability has been more highlighted, because 62% of consumers report to start to give importance to sustainability in these 2 last years. And we see that before, this was like something that people, it was like a word of mouth. People talked about the trends in a very different way. Nowadays, this goes in a very fast way because of the social media and all the trends that we can see in TikTok and in any social media of our countries. Also, we see that green claims are really important, but that consumers have really get a great access to any kind of information, and they checked if this is they really have a fact check about what we are offering. So we need to assure and be transparent with our consumers. And very important fact nowadays is that, as I told you before, sustainability nowadays is a new standard of beauty. We came from the past years talking about it, about this essential topic, but we saw that this was a niche. However, nowadays this is no longer a niche, and this is the force that is shaping the future of cosmetics. And for you, this is a very interesting fact, because we see that Asia Pacific it's rapidly becoming a global hub for green beauty. We see that Asia Pacific is the market that is going to grow more in the next years regarding all the sustainable beauty movement. Europe and North America started with this niche and with this trend, and now this is like a very mature market that is going, this trend is going to other countries like Latin America, countries in Africa, but Asia is going to lead the growth. So we can do more and more to offer and be in the sustainable movement. We see that everyone's talking about this science and natural alternatives, and we see that Phyto Stem Cell is already really known in the market. We know many customers that are using this kind of stem cells, in these Phyto Stem Cells in skincare, and not only in skincare, but also in hair care, because it's something that the consumer is demanding. However, even though that we see that stem cells is something that we already know, consumers already heard about stem cell, which is it will make easier for us to launch the Phyto Stem Cells in the market, there are some things that sometimes we don't understand. This is why, from Cobiosa, we decided to organize this webinar to have a clear vision of the Phyto Stem Cells and how we can claim them and how is this process working. This is why we are honored and we invite our colleagues and our partners from Rubisco Technology. Rubisco Technology is a company that is specialized in phytostem cells culture and is really has a really great experience in developing stem cells, but from unique sources. They are really this is a company from Chile, and we are working together thanks to we are putting together all the Cobiosa expertise in the cosmetic market with all the know-how that Rubisco has about developing the stem cells. So this biotechnology company develops unique cell culture from unique plants that we will see now and that are really, no one has access to these plants. So I would like to introduce you to the Dr. Felipe Aquea from Rubisco Technology. He has studied biology and he has a PhD in molecular genetics and microbiology in the University of Chile, in the Catholic University of Chile. He also has a postdoctorate in plant molecular biology and has already published more than 30 scientific publications in plant biology. Also, he has 7 patents of invention and he is the founder of Rubisco Technology. So we really appreciate Dr. Felipe to come here to the webinar to give a really clear view of the stem cell technology. Hello, Felipe.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. So I will lead you the way so you can start talking about it.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Maria. Happy to be here today, and with you guys, trying to talk about this technology. Well, I am the founder, scientific director of Rubisco. This is a biotech startup that is based on Santiago de Chile in Latin America. We are working for almost 10 years in this technology, just to produce natural ingredients for the cosmetic market. Yeah. Next slide, please. This technology has been used for over 40 years and was developed in response to the need for the need to obtain a sustainable source of raw material for produce a phytopharmaceutical products that the name is Taxol. Taxol is today commonly used in cancer for chemotherapy. What is the problem with the Taxol production is because the chemical compound exists in a low concentration in the bark of one specific tree that the name is Taxus brevifolia, that growing is a native plant from North America. So these plants produce in a low concentration of this molecule in the bark. What happened with that? That means that the purification cost of this molecule is very high. And also, the most important problem is that to produce 200 kilograms of this molecule, it is necessary to cut down almost 750,000 trees between 30 or 50 years old. So as you can observe, this is not sustainable production of this molecule. For this reason, a couple of scientists from the UC Davis University in California, they invent a new methods a new alternative methods to produce this raw material in a lab conditions. And after 15 years of research, they implement the plant cell technology. And today is the only method used to produce Taxol around the world. Next slide. Okay, so this technology, we can replicate almost any plants in lab conditions. And with this technology, we can develop unique products from exotic plants, or we can replace raw materials that today are producing using traditional methods, that is harvest the plants from the field. As you can see here in this slide, with this technology, we can grow a forest without touching a tree. Next slide. Well, why this technology is sustainable? There are a lot of benefits behind that. First of all, we use significantly less water consumption in compared with the traditional methods. For example, to produce 1 kilograms of cell biomass, we only use 3 liters of water. In comparison with the traditional methods, in the traditional agriculture, to obtain 1 kilogram of fresh biomass, you need at least 300 liters of water. That means that with this technology, we save almost 99% of water consumption in compare with the traditional methods. All of the raw material is growing under controlled conditions, in sterile conditions. That means that we don't use pesticide. And also, this raw material is growing in bioreactors in any place. For this reason, we don't use agricultural land. We are 100% commitment with the protection of the biodiversity, because we need just a small pieces of any plants to induce the plant cell multiplication. And for this reason, we can work with plants that are protected or plants that are overexploited. Finally, all of the raw material is growing under controlled conditions, the environmental conditions. For this reason, we can guarantee the same quality of the production of the natural extract between different batch, because all of the conditions where the cells grow are controlled. Next slide. This is a very simply overview of the process. At the beginning, we select some specific plants that produce an interesting metabolites, or are plants that growing in an exotic environment that can resist several different stresses, for example. We collect this plant material, just with a small branch is enough for us. We bring this material to the lab, and then we apply an R&D process using different methodology to induce the multiplication of the stem cells that are inside of this plant. And then this plant material is selected to identify the specific cell lines that are metabolic active. After that, this raw material is scaled up in a bioreactors methods. This is a specific equipment for that. And after that, we harvest the material, the plant material that growing inside the bioreactor, to obtain the final product. Next slide. No, this. Well, this technology is based on the total potentiality of the plant cells. As you know, the plants are different with the animals, in that in the plants, any cells is possible to regenerate new organisms, yeah, from any part of the plants. Yeah, and this is not happening with the animals. Yeah, this is a peculiarity and characteristic of the vegetables. So for this reason, the plants have specific regions, yeah, that names is meristem, that are rich in stem cells, and these stem cells are the responsible for organ formation and plant growth. So this technology is based on this capability of this plant, and then in the lab, we induce the multiplication of the stem cells that are present in the meristem of the plants. Next slide. Our first product was Alerce. Alerce is a native tree that growing in the Patagonia. It's a protected species and it's the longest species in the world. We collect a small branch, as you can see here in this slide. The phytomaterial is a small branch of this tree. After that, we bring to the lab, and then we cut this branch in small pieces of 1 centimeter of large. And these small pieces are growing in a petri dish that contain a nutrient formulation with nutrients, with vitamins, with hormones, with sugar that are specific for this plant. After a couple of months, we can observe that cell mass that are rich in this stem cell that appear from the inside of the meristem. And after a couple of years, we select the specific cell lines that are metabolic active. And this material that you can see here in the petri dish, can reproduce all of the metabolites that this plant produce. Yeah? And we guarantee that we never touch the plants again. Just at the beginning, we need just a small material for to start the plant cell induction. A similar approach can be used for any plants, and you can see here in the other pictures. In this case, we select some specific cell lines that produce pigment that is very useful for cosmetic. So this is the key point in this technology: is how can we design a specific nutrient medium that contain all of the nutrients that any plants needs for to optimal growth. Next slide. How this cell material is growing to industrial scale. For this purpose, we use bioreactors that have a specific equipment for that. These are reference pictures of a glass bioreactor that inside of that growing the cells in a liquid medium. And we say that these cells grow in an eternal spring because growing in a specific room with optimal nutrition, optimal light, and optimal temperature. So here are happy cells that grow in ideal conditions. Next slide. To obtain a cosmetic ingredients, we need two main processes. The first process is the upstream, is the process when we multiply the plant biomass, the cell biomass in this bioreactor. We are increase the volume of this cell culture in the time until the volume reach a specific number. Then we harvest all of the cells, the biomass that growing inside of the bioreactor. We follow with the next step, the downstream process. In this process we extract. We proceed with the extraction procedure to extract the metabolites that are important that are producing inside the cells until to obtain the cosmetic ingredient. Next slide. And one important point is which is the benefits of these ingredients, of this plant extract. For this reason, we test all of the plant ingredients in human cell lines, human models, to evaluate the safety and efficacy of the cosmetic ingredient. To identify which is the use for any specific plant extract, we perform a preclinical screening using different molecular markers. For that, we treat human keratinocytes, are cells that grow in the human epidermis. We treat these cells with the non-lethal dosage of a specific extract for 24 hours. And then for qPCR, that is molecular biology techniques, we monitoring the expression of several genes related to cosmetic claims, such as collagen synthesis, antioxidant, anti-inflammation, epithelial barrier and water balance, biorevitalizing products, or senescence. So using this methodology, at the beginning, we can know if what is the function of which is the efficacy of any specific plant extract. Next slide. And finally, we want to introduce a new concept to name this technology. There is a Plant Cell Institute that is an international organization that reunion all of the startups, university, and companies that are working today with this technology. And they are introduced a new concept that the name is microbotanics. Yeah, that means that with this concept, we'll reunion all of the technology that involve how can we grow plant material in a lab to uh, produce these natural ingredients with the focus is in the cosmetic market and also in the food market. That is my presentation, Maria.
Thank you, Felipe, for being so clear about how you this complex process that it's to obtain all these metabolites. And well, as Felipe said, we are focusing in unique ingredients. He has already shown the process of how we obtain this first active ingredient that was launched in 2022, that it's the Cobiosa Stem Cells. That is unique because this tree has a really is the oldest tree on earth, having more than 5,400 years old. So this resilience of the tree has been already we obtain it in all the properties that we obtain from this tree are great, and this tree is already in endangered species. We cannot touch the tree, but thanks to this technology, we are able to obtain all the properties that no one has. And this tree is especially designed for skin regeneration. I saw that there is already a question talking about wound healing. If we can use this in wound healing. This ingredient is especially for skin regeneration. And skin regeneration is needed for many things. Of course, we cannot apply the active ingredient or the product with an open wound. But when this wound is closed, we can help to heal this scar by using this active ingredient. Also, we can use it in acne, in anti-stretch marks. There is so many uses that this is very multifunctional. And it also has blue light protection and anti-wrinkle. Last year, we also launched Maki Stem, which is a super powerful antioxidant. It has 9 times more antioxidant effect than the acai and 7 more than the goji. And it's really interesting because being 100% natural ingredient is able to promote our own collagen. This is something really demand nowadays. And also it treats different kinds of dark spots, and we can see visible results even in the dark spots that we cannot see, which are the UV spots that will go to the surface in the future. But now today I will give a brief introduction about our latest active ingredients in stem cells. These are really unique, and these are Acustem Atacama and Stem Cell Kijai. which are also very aligned with the latest trends, like the hydration, something that is boosting again, and also the skin barrier strengthener. But you will see that we will do these properties will be really unique. So the Ecusema atacama main claim is to make your skin bloom again. Why is this? Well, we have here at the right side, we can see this really extremely arid desert that comes from the north of Chile, which is called the Atacama Desert. You can see here how can life can be possible in this landscape. This unique landscape is also an interesting fact is that the NASA uses all the robots and the materials that are going to take into Mars. But first, they do the trials here because the landscape is really, really similar to Mars. This is a place where there is the highest solar radiation, and the lands are practically sterile. However, every decade we have a great, great miracle that it's called the miracle of the blooming desert. This is unique because it only happens every 10 years when we are able to have this climate phenomenon that will lead to heavy rains and will take to the plants, these species of flowers will grow through the whole desert. And this is something that is unique because we have to wait until this phenomenon is possible. And sometimes even there has been a time where there has been 400 years until we get this phenomenon. This happens due to a really, really nice flower that is called the Cisante grandiflora that, due to all these years of lack of rain, it has developed a unique survival mechanism where the seeds of this plant are able to live without water for many years. However, when the rain comes, what it does is this plant is able to collect all the possible water and get all the optimal levels of water to grow. So this leads us to the capacity to grow in this so difficult landscape. The problem is that this flower only lasts for 7 years. So we are talking about a very unpredictable plant, which is really ephemeral because to get in, it's really difficult access because of the ephemeral and how it lasts so little time. But thanks to this Phyto Stem Cell technology, we just had access one and we were able to get all the properties. That one of the main properties, as you saw, this extreme environment has led to a smart hydration system that will be able to optimize and promote all the natural hydration in our cells. And this will lead to increase of hydration in the skin and also the reduction of the inflammatory process. This could be used for skin and scalp, and is really interesting because hydration is really important, and like the desert, our skin needs to hydrate, very important. How is this smart hydration system working? Well, this is not only a superficial hydration, but we activate a system that is due to the promotion of a very important protein in our epidermis. Well, not only the epidermis, but in our whole system, which is called the aquaporin. Here we see that in our system we have many kinds of aquaporin. The aquaporin is a protein that has recently, in 2003, it was discovered by a man called Peter Agre, and he won a Nobel Prize because thanks to this, the aquaporin is the water channels that regulates the skin physiology and is able to promote all the optimal water levels by getting through the primary water and the glycerol. So the most important aquaporin that we have in our epidermis is the aquaporin 3. This is the master of hydration. Thanks to this conduct, we are able to get the water that the cells need. There are brands that are giving really high importance to this aquaporin. So we know that in the market, the brands are already talking about aquaporin, about the skin water channels, and also aquaporin booster. These are the efficacy tests that we conduct. As Felipe said, first we start with a gene expression, and we see that in this particularly stem cell, we have a higher expression of the AQP3, which is the gene that is encoding the aquaporin 3 in our system. And we see that this expression has 2 times more and after 24 hours in keratinocytes. So after seeing this great activity, we conduct all the different efficacy tests. We relate these aquaporin levels with skins that has atopic problems, and we see that there are also some interleukins that are really important in this kind of skins, that are the interleukin 13 and 31, and how after inducing first in fibroblasts and second in monocytes, with this LPS, we induce the inflammation, and we see that even with 0.1% of doses of this Acusema jacama, we reduce the inflammatory levels. But it's interesting to see how first we see the gene, and then we see how the protein is also expressed. We measure in an ex vivo test with skin explants how this we stimulate with 1% of Acusema jacama, we stimulate the aquaporin protein expression. And not only we stimulate, but we stimulate 66% more of this protein. In the basal, when we see the skin explant, we saw that the aquaporin protein is green colored, and before using the active ingredient, we already have some aquaporin, but after 1%, how the pictures are amazing, how these aquaporin levels increase. After all of this, we have to conduct an in vivo efficacy test in 20 volunteers that had dry skin, and they had to just apply once. In different concentrations, we had first without any we don't apply anything, or normal skin, the control, with the placebo, and then this same formula we add 1% of the Acusema jacama and 2%. And after 2 hours, when we measure, we see that just after 2 hours, we double the effect of the placebo, getting 14% of hydration. And with 2%, we even have better results. In the following hours, we see how this trend of this difference with the control and with the placebo is also very high. So we are even getting a good result after 24 hours. We see that just with these results and seeing that in skin explant after 4 days, we increase 66% of the aquaporin, this means that after 28 days is going to be great moisturization effect. So to end with this active ingredient, this is an ingredient that is 100% natural, and we can claim the Phyto Stem Cell technology, or we can also use the microbiotics term that Felipe has introduced. And the great thing is that we are able to get all the metabolites of this extremely unique plant by stem cell, and we promote and get the promotion of the natural skin hydration. We do a pro aquaporin level. We optimize the water levels in the skin, the water transport in the cellular level, helping reducing inflammation, and this can be used for many kinds of things, for skincare, makeup, sun care. The dose of use is from 1 to 2, hydrosoluble, very easy to use, and this is really nice for any kind, even for scalp care. If you have any questions, please raise your hand or do not hesitate to ask in the chat. And the next ingredient that we will introduce is the stem cell Quillay. The stem cell Quillay, it has also a unique story and is really interesting because it's focused on the cohesion of the dermal cohesion to strengthen the skin barrier. In this specific case, we are solving a sustainable problem. Like, for example, how the stem cell started. In this case, we see that the Quilla saponaria, which is commonly known as subbark tree in Chile, is a very endemic species in Chile, and it has a high interest because in the bark of the tree, there is a high level of saponins. So the interest is because saponins can be also used as an antimicrobial and as an alternative to tensioactives. So in this case, Felipe showed the procedure. Depending on the nutrition and the light and temperature that we will give, we can get different kinds of active ingredient. In this stem cell Quillay is going to be used. We were going to promote the polyphenols, while in another ingredient that we will launch in the future, in this year, we will promote the saponins. But we started with the polyphenols because thanks to this tree is really interesting because the bark is really strength, and the strength of this bark has give a protective layer to the tree that even with when there was some fires, and we can see that the tree was surviving, and it's able to survive also to really high droughts. And these amazing properties, we will take it to the skin level. That will be to promote what is called the filaggrin protein. This is a very interesting protein that is used to for the cohesion of the skin, meaning that like the bark of this tree, the strength of this tree will also take to the properties of this of our skin by increasing the integrity of the skin barrier. The filaggrin is a protein that you can see here. It's in blue. These are all we have. You know that we have different layers in our skin, and the most known layer is the lipid barrier, which is really important for the skin protection. However, we can have a really strong skin barrier due to the lipid, to a good lipid levels. But if we don't have the filaggrin, which is the protein that joins all these corneocytes, we will also have the problems that atopic or dry skin have. We'll have lack of moisturization because we'll have transepidermal water loss. And not only that, but also our skin will be very vulnerable due to that we have a lack of protection, and all the external factors can lead to all this protein degradation and all the damage that we have from external aggressions and from the exposome. So the filaggrin plays a critical role for the healthy of skin. Not only protects and acts like the cement of the skin, but also when this protein degrades, it will produce amino acids that will be part of the natural moisturizing factor. So it will also promote the hydration of the skin. There are very important brands that are already talking about filaggrin. In Korea, we have Dr. G, which talks about the filaggrin, and also Cetaphil from, which is, this cream is #1 in Singapore, and talk about filaggrin technology. So it can be used for baby care, for also for wrinkles, or for any kinds of skin. We proceed with this efficacy test that we have done also with the Ecosystem Atacama, first measuring the gene expressions. And it's amazing because when we see the properties and then we see how this is really observed in the gene expression, this is Felipe, when he studies all of this, he's really amazed because we see that these the molecules that are expressed more in the stem cell Quillay are related with the skin barrier. We are talking about filaggrin, which is the structural protein that I already told you, but also the loricrin, which is like the envelope for the corneocytes, and also promotes the ceramide. So all of these gene expression are related with the skin barrier. After checking that it promotes 4 times more, 2 times more, and even 6 times more, we focused on the filaggrin protein stimulation, and we see that after 4 days only, the increase of this filaggrin is 53%, which is something also really great result. In the pictures, we can clearly see the lack of this filaggrin in the skin fragments, and after 1% of stem cell KGI, we are able to promote this protein. And the last thing would be in this time, we can use it for hydration, we can use it for many properties, but we focus on the skin firmness and density. Because when we have a strengthened skin barrier, we are getting many properties. This is the main properties that we will get. The first one is the skin elasticity, thanks to use this 2% of stem cell KGI in skins from 40 to 70 years old, which are mature skins we focus on these skins because it has usually more barrier problems. So we see that we increase 15% of elasticity, and in this case, in the skin firmness, we measure the change of the skin, meaning that with less change, our skin is more firm. This is why the results are compared to with placebo are great, because we are reducing this change 18%. And the other one is the dermal density that we measure by ultrasonography. And we can see that thanks to these skin barrier properties, we avoid all the degradation of our fibers. All the elastin, the collagen is protected, and we increase with placebo, we are even losing because we are not protecting our fibers. But with or stem cell KGI with 2%, we are able even to promote the dermal density because we are protecting these or internal fibers. And all the volunteers, we asked them, and after this, their self-assessment showed that 100% of the volunteers saw their skin more smoother and moisturized. And we also see volunteers that 80% saw the skin firmer, and they also saw the natural beauty of the skin has increased. So this is an active ingredient that is China compliant, that is already used for, we can see that it's for the skin barrier. It also has a patent that Felipe can maybe talk about it later. And in this case, you can use from 1 to 2% of the active ingredient. It is very easy to use because it's compatible with most of the raw materials, and will bring many properties like the skin barrier, that is something that is really demand now. It's a profilaggrin ingredient, and it will also maintain the hydration because it will promote it with the natural moisturizing factor, and it will avoid the transepidermal water loss. So here we have all the ingredients. You see that we have a really wide range of high-tech phyto stem cells. And we see that these are unique plants. This is not very typical food or very typical plant, but we look for sustainable ways of obtaining already replacing raw materials and getting access to unique plants that are protected or are very ephemeral. So thanks for assisting to this webinar. I hope that you really learned about phyto stem cells. And if you have any questions, please let us know. I'm not seeing really the chat, so I will see if someone is already asking something. Okay. Okay, so the question, we have many questions, okay. So some people were asking about the uniqueness of these products. You said you saw that there is a uniqueness because we select products, plants that are already protected, that no one can has access to. So you will have in your formulation ingredients that are very unique. And also, we already have some ingredients in the market. We already have Cobiosa Stem Cells in very important brands in Korea, in South America, and we also have Maki Stem in important markets of Asia. So how the mechanism of Cobiosa Stem Cells to protect the skin from blue light? The main thing, the main metabolite that we obtain that is related with the protection of the blue light is the antioxidants. So thanks to these antioxidant levels, we are able to promote the blue light protection. I don't know if Felipe wants to talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, it's true. The protection of the blue light is because the extract has some antioxidants that you say, Maria, and these antioxidants protect the human cells from the environmental stress, like blue light. This is the reason.
And I know my colleague Teresa already answered the questions, but for those that cannot read it, the Acustem Atacama effect has a moisturizing after 2 hours, but we have conducted the test after 2 hours. We can also try to see, maybe we can see also this immediate effect, and we also can see that after 24 hours, we are still having these hydration levels that are promoting more than the placebo. So how about the sustainability of the Sistante grandiflora? Are there any issues based on the condition and period of the time for the plant to grow? Felipe, can you help us with this?
Yes, so the plants, as you say, the plants grow in just a couple of days every 7 or 10 years, depend of the quantity of water that drop up. Yes, the plants is ephemeral that grow in just in the Atacama Desert, and it's a native plant from Chile also. Yeah, and this has amazing properties for to can grow that permit this plant grow in this very stressful environment.
Okay, so another question that we have is, what is the standard molecule for stem cell KI? Felipe will help me, but you have to take into account that thanks to this technology, we are not only getting one molecule, but a complete synergy of molecules, meaning that we are able to claim different kinds of properties. I don't know if Felipe, you can talk about it a little bit.
Yes, in this specific extract, it's a complex that has polyphenols, sugars, protein. This is we don't know because there are different polyphenols in this extract. For this reason, we don't know which is the specific molecule that has the property, and just we can say that this is a complex, natural complex that has this mix of different biomolecules.
Okay, and another very important question, especially this is in Indonesia. When I was in the ICI, I already had this question, which is, has anyone in Indonesia ever claimed to use stem cells with raw materials from Cobiosa? This is because given the stem cell claims in Indonesia are very difficult, Felipe. So they are asking if we could provide sufficient support data to show to regulatory that these are stem cells technology, the Phyto Stem Cells.
Yes, this is different from the human stem cell. That has to be clear. This technology is very natural. also can be certified like a vegan. Also, all of the products are cruelty-free. Yeah, and it complete with of the regulatory for to selling in different markets. So.
If you have any problem, you can talk also about Phyto cells. We already talked about it. And also Felipe showed that there is already an organization specialized in Phyto Stem Cells that is international, meaning that is in most of the countries. And they are starting to talk about the microbotanics. So this is something that you can also use. However, if you need any information, you can always request your distributor and they will request us, and we will be very happy to assist you with anything that you need. Okay, Cobiosa is very well known because we have a lot of information in vivo, regulatory data, and also our distributors are helping us a lot. So anything that you need, you can also request them. Okay, so
the last question is: do you have any in vivo photos?
Yes. Well, regarding I know it's already answered. So for the in vivo photos, we are using in this case the ultrasonography of stem cell killi to be able to see the dermal density. It's better to see by ultrasonography. So we also have a lot of ultrasonography pictures. If you need them, we can also provide it to you. Okay, so thank you very much for assisting. We were more than 100 people in this global webinar. Thank you for your questions, and for sure we will send you an email, or your distributors will give you the presentation. Also, we have already recorded the video, so you can listen to it again. And of course, if you still have a question, please ask your distributor, and we will be really happy to assist you. Thank you very much, Felipe, for coming today. It was really a pleasure to have you here to understand the technology. I know it's hard because in Chile it's really late night.
3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Yes.
Okay,
Thanks,
so
Maria.
we will leave you to sleep a little bit.
Yes.
Thank you very much for all of you to come to this webinar. Cobiosa will start to do more of this kind, so you can know more about our ingredients. And thank you. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.